so excited today to have Kevin Dean, CEO of ManoByte. He's got a really interesting background. We love the work that he's doing in AI, specifically around sales enablement. I'm sure we're going to hear all about that.
Super excited.
The tech brain in my head goes a little crazy when I start thinking about that. So it's fun to think about. So welcome, Kevin Dean.
Kevin.
Oh my goodness. This is so awesome. I am hanging out with you guys. Oh my God. The only thing better is if we were hanging out on the beach.
Oh, see?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, rumor has it that you live in Tampa. Is that correct? You live in Tampa?
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so but today's like a crappy day. It is like raining. It's like one of those days that it rains in Tampa, so I can't go out on the boat. It's just like, But I get to hang out with you guys, so that's like second best.
Yes, you do, and us, you.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about your role and your business and how you got there.
Oh yeah, sure. So ManoByte is a tech company, and we have been around since 2007. And I like to tell people, like, I'm an entrepreneur by birth, but a geek by training. So went to school, got a computer information science degree, super nerd, didn't play sports. I was too busy, on the computer. And this was when being a nerd and a geek wasn't cool, right? You remember back in those days, like it wasn't cool not to be a geek right
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm only 19.
I have no idea what that's like, even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. And so I've always been a geeky guy. But the other thing that I've always been a water baby. So I started scuba diving when I was around 13, 12 or 13. I can't remember exactly. And so like the water is like that's my happy place. It's my happy place, I'm telling you. So out of school, I went and started working for Fortune 500 companies in tech, on the tech side, and began to kind of climb the ladder pretty fast, began to excel. And what happened was, in these large organizations, it's easy for you to get burnt out. So easy to get burnt out. So I got burnt out pretty bad. And so I had to go to my happy place, right? So my mom used to live in Hawaii. So we went to Hawaii, me and my wife, and went scuba diving, right? Like that's like, I got so much clarity being there. And so that's what I said, okay, that's it. I'm going out and I'm going to do my own thing. And so ManoByte, Mano is the Hawaiian word for shark. So shark bite, that's how it all came about. And it just pulls in the tech side of all those things. And it really focuses on how do you leverage strategy, business acumen with technology, because the two have to go hand in hand. And so that's what we've been doing for these past almost 18 years. But as tech has changed, we've evolved and changed to be focused on how businesses can leverage technology to its greatest benefit.
That is amazing. That's amazing. Well, first and foremost, we love scuba diving too.
We're going next week.
As soon as you said that, I was like, what? Yep. Who's this person?
Yes.
Must know you better. And definitely our happy place too. Yeah. And don't laugh, because you probably already know this song. There is a song. What's his name?
I don't.
Cheeseburger in Paradise guy.
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett. So we found this song called "Bubbles Up" by Jimmy Buffett. Do you know this song?
I do.
Oh my gosh! So discovered it. I'm not a huge Jimmy Buffett fan until now, and we found this song, and we were in Cozumel at the time with another couple that dives with us, and it was the same kind of thing. Massive clarity, a reminder of good reset. So I love that about you.
Yes.
So you guys are now parrot heads. You're parrot heads.
That's right. Officially.
Ooh,
officially.
Am I okay?
You're a parrot head now. You're a parrot head.
Reluctant.
Fins to the left, fins to the right.
I might be reluctant. I don't know.
So you leave Lexington, Kentucky, and you go to school. Is that right? You left there. Where did you end up going to school?
So Western Governors, out in Utah.
Out in Utah.
Right
That's a big change from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, when I say I was entrepreneur by birth. Like I don't really have roots. So I've been everywhere. I've lived in so many different places. So, Kentucky, Indianapolis, New York, Michigan, traveled all over. And so now we're here in Tampa. So, home is where the heart is, home, right? So, yeah. So been lots of places.
I love that. So in thinking about your journey from the time that you started ManoByte to now, there's bound to have been a few things that didn't go exactly as planned. A lot of the work Bruce and I do is steeped in an improv mindset and being able to be flexible and adaptable. Can you give us an example of kind of a misstep that you had over the time between when you started and now that just was a really great lesson for you or you and the team along the way?
Yeah, there's been lots of mistakes over the past 18 years. And I think that I like the saying that, like, if you aren't failing, you aren't learning, right? Uh, so true, right? That if you're not failing, you're not learning. And so what I would like to do is kind of take you guys back to um, probably the first mistake, right? Um, and this is, all about, in business, timing is everything. Timing is everything. And that's something that you can't always plan for. So we started the company into 2007, beginning of 2008, and then that leads directly into the big recession. And our company, and I was in Michigan, so right there in the epicenter of where everything was trickling down from because of the big three and all of the automotive issues that were happening. And so, yeah, that was a rough time. So I'm starting my company. We started focusing on social media analytics, natural language processing, how to use AI back then to understand what people are saying and thinking. And I was ahead of what people were thinking about, but it wasn't the right time. Recession came, wasn't the right time. Things got really, really bad. We ended up losing our house, right? I mean, so it was a tough time to start a business, right? It was a very, very tough time to start a business. Lessons learned. Here's the lessons learned. It's never going to be easy. Pick your heart, right? Number two, just because you hit hard times, don't give up. Keep going. And lesson number three, just because you're first doesn't mean that you're going to finish first. Starting first doesn't mean finishing first. So those are the three lessons that I've learned that have helped me over time to evolve as we look out and we see shifts happening. And I think that's a big lesson that all people in business need to understand is you've got to look forward, identify coming shifts, and then figure out when is the right time to turn. Because just because you see the curve coming doesn't mean that you turn now. It just means that you see it coming.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's parallels our careers, right? When you have to make those shifts, when you start or you go full time in a business, and a mass pandemic occurs, when you make a lot of money off of speaking in front of people. Like, it's those things that really make you focus on how do we pivot, how do we keep a paycheck, and how do we keep moving forward. It's amazing what happens when the rubber meets the road of no paycheck. There's a lot of things that you're willing to do to take risk when that happens. At least in my experience, that happens.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. So, and you both know how exactly that feels and what that's like to actually say, oh, look, this is what's going to happen. We're going to just push through it and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the field that you're in, being in tech myself back in my formative years. When we talked about AI, it really was, how are we going to query this database, right?
Do you
that's
think
what it
you
is.
could put on the
We're
screen
gonna-
something that
we're
says
gonna
nerd alert as we're moving into this section?
It's exciting times with AI. We're finding ourselves as small business owners really leveraging tools, trying to make ourselves more efficient. Where do you see it right now between a year ago and now? And where do you see it because it's changing so quickly in 2 to 3 years?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Like literally, we're ready to nerd out and ready to geek out. So, like 10 years ago, I wrote an article about natural language processing. 10 years ago. And the pace at which things were changing were slow, right? Now I look back just 2 years ago, um, ChatGPT came out 3 years ago, right? OpenAI came out 3 years ago. But now everybody is using one of these tools, right? If it's not ChatGPT, you're using one of the others or whatever. It doesn't matter. But everybody is using them to some degree or another.
Mhm.
And they're figuring out that it has the ability to help them be smarter than they used to be and to help them make different decisions. I won't say better, I'll just say different decisions, right? I think people are figuring out that it's helping them to be more efficient with some things. And that's all great. But we are literally at the starting line. The game hasn't even started yet, right? And that's so crazy. And changes are happening in weeks, not years, right? I mean, every single week there is a new development, a new model, a new update, new capabilities, new functionality, right? I use ChatGPT a lot just because it's the one that I started with, and I've got so many things built into it. And I evaluate all the other ones on a regular basis because that's the business that I'm in. But you think about just ChatGPT, what it is 3 years ago to what it is now. Like I have the ability to create my own GPTs. I have the ability to have operators that, on every Tuesday at, 12 o'clock to do this task on its own to give me the results and then to take another task. Like there's agentic AI, there's all of these things to create video and content and have it automated. Like that's cool. We didn't have that functionality 2 years ago. But again, this is all just the beginning. So one of the things that, we're playing around with a lot right now is our digital twins. And how do you create digital twins that have the ability to reason, have conversations? Are you really talking to Kevin Dean right now?
Yeah, we were wondering that, Kevin.
Don't even start me. We just listened to this thing on NPR about it. I'm not sure. Yeah. Although there hasn't been any latency.
Yes, that's right. You've been able to answer the questions almost immediately. Right. So that's how we know.
I think you're really you.
I am me. But that latency will be gone in a matter of months.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying years. I'm saying like there is latency. I have a digital twin. I use it. And we actually use it in our business to take sales calls. No joke. So my digital twin will have their low-level sales calls that have been a pain to our sales team. It will take a call. It will listen to a prospect, answer their questions, and then help them with a proposal. Like literally all in one step. Like I'm not doing that. I have a digital twin who's doing all that for me. They can answer the questions correctly. They know how to price it. They know how to create the proposals. That's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And that stuff didn't exist 2 years ago. But again, this is just the beginning. What we see right now, if you're excited about it, is the worst that it's going to ever be.
Right, right. That's so true. I love the way you put that. So kind of going down that road of AI versus person, because that's what it feels like a little bit sometimes. I have a lot of people in my family, and we even have some clients that are just freaked out about the whole tech experience. Where do you see the difference between what AI can provide right now and what people still need to be bringing to the table? If they can, if your digital twin can take a call like that and determine whether or not it's going to move into the deeper discovery territory, is that, I'm assuming that's still people who are doing that?
So this is a great conversation. It's a great conversation. And it's full of debate, right? It's so full of debate, right? And here's what I will say. I'm just going to be honest, like to everybody on this call and to the listeners and to everybody else, because here's the honest to God truth, right? Um, the only difference between what AI can do and what a human can do is we have intuition and we have true feeling. And I say true feeling, right? Um,
Yes.
and because there is a difference, because we can train AI to have empathy and to be
Yes.
and to have feelings, right? So we're working on a project where, because we're doing a lot of work with digital twins, so we're working on a project where a digital twin will meet with a person whose elderly parent needs help, right? And they're trying to figure out, do they have dementia? Where do they need to leave? What's the level of care do they have to have? What are the rules and regulations and guidelines that we have to figure out within our county, right? Because it's so messed up, right? And it can do that, and it can look and see, oh, I see that Gail is sad right now. Let me change my reflection. I can see that she's puzzled. Let me clarify, right? That can happen, right? And you might say that that's intelligence, right? And that's feeling, but it's programmed. Humans, we have true feeling, and that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the reason probably they say artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
So,
right.
It is artificial. It's totally artificial. Okay, so here's the thing. People say AI is not going to take jobs away. Come on. It's going to take jobs away. It's going to take jobs away. That's like telling like the blacksmith, yeah, this thing called the automobile isn't going to take your job away. Really? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, so we're telling ourselves what we want to hear as humans because we don't understand enough.
Yeah.
We don't understand. But and then we like to say things, well, AI, it has hallucinations. It's wrong, right? It's given wrong. Oh my goodness. How many times are humans wrong, and how many times do humans intentionally lie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or hallucinate. It could be any of that.
Or hallucinate, right?
Yeah.
Intentionally, right?
Yeah. Well, help us understand, like, who's your ideal client in working at ManoByte? Like, who are you looking for that's like the person you want to connect with so that you can, I don't know, introduce them to your business?
Yeah. So we work typically with companies that are in, most of our companies are either in a financial, manufacturing. Those are the areas that we typically work in. And they're usually companies that have, 200 plus employees, right? So those are the type of companies that we help. And the types of companies that we help, there's a lot of tools that are out of the box that companies can get. And there's a ton of AI platforms and solutions that are out there that most companies should be investigating and using. But we help companies when they need something a little bit more than what's out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you give an example, just a success story? I think it'd be interesting for our listeners to hear.
Yeah, I love to talk about some of the success stories that we've had. So I'll give one example of a company that most people know of. So we work with NerdWallet. Mm-hmm. So we help them to automate their processes using technology to be able to figure out, like, how do we manage all the requests that are coming in from our customers, and to ensure that all the right information is getting out and that it works with our internal processes. So we do a lot of stuff for them, and they're one of our customers that most people would know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Is it NerdWallet that does the failure wall?
They did at one point.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you know about that? The failure wall? Have you heard about this?
No, I didn't hear about the failure wall.
Yeah,
so it's like what you were talking about earlier.
I don't remember the year.
I think it's NerdWallet.
Yeah, it is. The CEO would not celebrate successes. They would celebrate the failures and the learning that came from failure. So what they would do is they'd actually have a celebration wall where they'd say, Kevin, we are celebrating you today for helping us find out why X, Y, or Z doesn't work. And then there would be a presentation and an actual reward for but it's that whole culture of if you can't fail, you can't go forward, right? You have to be able to learn. And in the business that we're in, teaching people how to fail and fail with measured risk instead of huge risk is the part that people get very scared by, because they think, well, I can't fail at all. No failure. And we just know that's not how human beings work.
That's not how anything works. Yeah. And failure is not a bad thing. I love the analogy, about, the best baseball players, right? What's their batting average? It's super low.
Yes.
It's true. Right.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap things up, we do have one final question for you, Kevin.
Yeah. One of the things we ask anyone that we have on our podcast is, what is the best piece of advice you've been given? And we love when people say, it was this, and it was given, I think, because I was in this situation, or they were mentoring me, or whatever.
We want the story behind the advice that was given as well.
You want the story behind the advice. Oh man, the story behind the advice. So there's a gentleman really close to him, and unfortunately, as he's gotten older, he's had a stroke, and this brilliant man who has been a successful entrepreneur, started many companies and many businesses. And one of the things that, there are several things that he told me, right? Obviously, number one, like if you're not growing, you're falling behind, right? But he also helped me to appreciate that you have to make sure that you understand what people are asking and why, and be careful about how you reply, right? And that was so critical, and I've applied that in so many areas, because sometimes the question that people are asking isn't the answer that you should be giving them, right? Yeah. And it's not the solution that you need to be providing them. So it's super important to really understand the purpose and the meaning behind what people are asking for before you try to help in any way. And that's been just invaluable advice.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome. It's actually a great diving board. We're doing a webinar that's coming up on how to unlock the magic of sales discovery, or of discovery, for anyone who's managing accounts. And that's one of the big things we're driving home, is this idea that we're so quick to make assumptions, and we're so quick to respond, or we're just planning everything we're going to say that we feel like we need to say, and we miss so much opportunity to connect, to hear the real pain points, to really develop that relationship. So I love that advice. I think it's brilliant, and everyone needs to think about that.
That's right.
Especially talkers like me.
Talk. Yes. No comment. No comment, Kevin. No comment.
No comment. I'm going to
stay married. That's the goal.
Yeah. That's how this marriage survives. Okay. Shh.
Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life.
That's right. 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. It has been such a pleasure to have you. We're so grateful that you were able to spend some time with us. Yeah. We're looking forward to staying connected and networking with each other. And we're just wishing you all the greatest success.
Thank you. I love this. This has been so great. Thanks for your time today.
Our
awesome.
pleasure.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll see you soon.
Bye.